All right, we're good on my end. Whenever you are, senior, we're good to go.
I'm ready, baby. I'm ready.
How do we want? Like I said, we're just gonna use this as the pre-show, so I'll go ahead and I'll just clip the video. I'll keep the audio and everything as it is as we are hearing each other, and
Okay.
then yeah, and I'll clip it up. We'll throw it on Instagram or whatever the hell Theron wants to do with it. But I figured the rant would be perfect to just post for Patreon and then clip it and do all that good
Yeah.
stuff for
Yeah. That's good.
for
Yeah.
business
Whatever
side of
you
it.
want to do.
Whatever you want to do. All I have is scotch in here. I just realized I brought in ice because I wanted to grab some bourbon or something, but I only have
Yeah.
scotch, so I'm gonna
Well, that's a good
start with
problem to have, buddy.
I'm gonna start with some scotch. I guess
That's a good. That's a good problem to have.
it's not the worst, but I did bring enough glasses because I always come prepared. So I'm gonna go
Right.
ahead and pour me some scotch because I see you pouring your Irish neat. You know what?
Yeah.
Damn it! I already poured it. I was gonna say I have two Irish in here I could pour with
Oh,
you,
do you?
but
What do you have? What do you have over there?
I have green spot and red breast.
Red breast, man. I never had the other one, but red breast is always a classic.
It's probably one of my, if not the best.
Oh,
I also have the Sexton too. That's an Irish as well.
Sexton. Yeah. Yeah. The Sexton. Is that the one you got from on your show that time when somebody brought it?
Yep,
The
that's
same one?
Bishop brought this one. Yep, the little hexagon
Bishop.
bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. It's Bishop. I remember that. Yep.
He and I went deep into philosophizers.
Y'all did. I remember the episode. There was a lot of philosophizing going on.
You said so. Like I said, we're just gonna roll into it. You said we were giving you fuel on a couple of
Yeah,
couples counseling. So
yeah,
what?
man. And I'm pulling up my notes. That's why I got my phone next to me. Yeah, man. So I've been listening to a lot of. I've been catching up. I was on hiatus for a while, as you know, and I've been catching up with a lot of scuttlebutt because it gets me motivated. It really puts me in the mood to podcast, honestly. So
Motivator. Fuck yeah.
yeah, yeah, motivator. Iron sharpens iron, right?
Fuck yeah.
But I know I listened to a lot of it, and this is over a few episodes of couple counseling. So a couple things. Evals, the leadership course, Chief season, because something kind of tweaked me. Morpheus, not on Morpheus, he don't know, but how it's stupid, kind of what's a waste of time, the Chief season.
Hmm.
And then Chiefs in general, kind of where they're going. And not saying all what y'all said was wrong. Okay, well, the Chief mess, and and that's not the first time that I've had bitches about the Chiefs, and I don't want to blanket the rank because not all
Hmm.
Chiefs are bad. I mean,
100%.
unfortunately, right now maybe you guys don't have the best Chiefs over you. I don't want to say over you in a bad way. We're working with you, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Because I never had the the idea that people work for me. People work with me because they didn't want to work for me. That was a totally different thing, right?
Yeah.
So
That's
I
a leadership
always
mindset right there. Yeah.
right, right, and it's all about servant leadership. I guess that's the best way to put it. You hear it coined a lot, but I mean I can't think of a better term. And what I've seen and what I was seeing as I was retiring, and kind of what I see now because I hear crap every day, and it's not crap. I like it when Jamie vents to me, but I hear stuff all the time, and it really fires me up, man. Every day I've been getting pissed off like 3 or 4 times a week hearing things.
That's
And
not
it's
good. That's
just
not healthy.
no, it just pisses me off. No, I mean I forget about it. I
Not for
wish
you, but
sometimes.
I just mean like, yeah, that this many instances are like,
Right,
why is it raising your blood pressure? Why are so many instances like this happening?
right, because it hurts, bro. I mean, I was proud, and I'm still proud to be a Navy chief, retired, active, whatever. And it hurts me when people aren't, I guess, pulling their weight.
Giving you guys the good name that you, in
That
in
we,
in my experience with my good chiefs, deserve.
well, you know what? The reason for a long time the chief was a coined phrase and was a good thing was because of the people that came before us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now, what are we leaving to the chiefs that come after us now? What are we leaving?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's going to be a name of like you know, fucking the help.
Mm.
I don't mean that in a bad way, but having sex with junior sailors,
I was
which
gonna
is
say
terrible.
it's a real thing. Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe not pulling their weight. And I will get in some things like as a senior chief, active duty senior chief, my last command, I did a lot of department head shit, right? A
Yeah.
lot of it, probably just as much as chief stuff,
Mm.
because my department head wasn't pulling his weight. But I'm not going to fail, and my department's not going to fail. So I did. So it goes. It's not just the Chiefs mess. The wardroom too sometimes.
Mhm. Mhm.
But you guys are close to the Chiefs. The Chiefs be your blanket, correct? I mean, that's how I feel.
I mean, yeah, and I want to touch on that specifically because I think even when Morpheus and I are bitching or Khaleesi and I are bitching, we're all, at least I try to be, and maybe I'm not doing a good enough job of this, but we try to be like, this goes across ranks, it goes across even branches where,
Mhm.
it's lower enlisted being shitbags and we got to pick up the slack here below us
Right.
and above us is kind of like where a big sentiment that I hope to hammer home is that it's an overall systemic issue. I think that's one thing that I've tried to hammer recently, and with Morpheus, his experience especially is like, you know, if it's only had the direct line with the chiefs, and then because we're in medical, we often have the officers like there. It's like a mixed bag with officers, 50-50 we've said. Whereas with chiefs, as Morpheus has pointed out and said, is like it's probably like 80-20, ninety
Yeah.
ten. With his,
Yeah.
and again, I don't know if I'd say it that high, but his bitterness and again, he's not the only one. That's the thing. Him being the one to deploy out of the three of us,
Hmm.
he's and like Bishop, and other guests we've had, Donnie, they all have that sentiment. So it seems like the more that the job is like life or death necessitated, that we need the good leadership, the worse it seems to get, which is a
Right.
whole other issue. And like I said, I think the systemic issue is what I point to more than anything else, whether it's the kids coming in and us not having the right like recruiting strategy or having the right incentive structure set up. Morpheus often points to the fact that no other branch has the Chiefs mess, and it seems that the Chiefs mess is only causing problems in his experience, as he's stated himself.
Right.
So he's often, as many sailors are, questioning what the hell
Yeah.
are the Chiefs mess doing if not creating problems.
I hear you, but since time has started, since 1893, I'm sure sailors were bitching about chiefs.
And each other, of course.
Right.
Scuttlebutt.
I mean, yeah. When I was like, oh, fuck that chief, when I was a E5, not so much as E6, E4, E5, especially, fuck. But a lot of times back then, they were just, there's a fine line between being held accountable and being unjustly
Hmm.
treated. There's a fine
100%.
line, and 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 in the Chiefs' defense, a lot of times it's just bitching sailors to bitch, which
Hmm.
I'm okay with. A bitching sailor is a happy sailor, but it seems like I've noticed, man, like it's just not pulling the weight, bro. I mean, when you got a chief mess of 30 freaking people and you got three of them freaking doing everything, like three people do 90% of the work? Is that
Hmm. Yeah.
is that
I think when I was growing up, they used to always say, yeah, it's a 10% of the people do 90% of the work, 90% of the people do 10% of the work. Whereas I think in our day and age, Khaleesi, have upped that a little bit. I think it's 99% of the people are doing 1% of the work. Thus,
Yeah,
us
it's
one percenters are just doing it all.
right. That's why you're pissed off and tired, right? I
That's why we're
mean,
exhausted. Exactly.
yeah, and I've been there, but I tell you what, one thing, junior sailor. When I say junior, I mean E1 to E6. E6 is our careerists typically. They can do their 20. They can do their 20, but they better not see it. They better not be out working the chief.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I ain't saying the chief is doing what they're doing, but they're doing their thing. You
Sure.
know what I mean? And you bring back you bring up a few times the senior chief that would have had a patient bleed out in the
Hmm.
TCCC, correct? Well, here's my deal. I was not the best technician as a E7 senior chief or chief. I was not the best technician,
ET,
but I
right?
could
Yeah.
do
Yeah. Yeah.
as an E5. I was the best I was ever in the Navy. It's because I was doing it every day. Practice makes perfect,
Mm.
but that's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
excuse
Yeah.
that I'm thinking that the bar that's put on these guys at this training that you gave was the bare minimum.
I, I mean,
Would you
when
say
when
it's
it's
the bare?
medical, yeah, it needs to be the bare minimum. You got to do the
Okay,
ABCs.
I
Yeah.
agree. No, I agree. And I did TCCC. I did what they call it, combat casualty
Yeah, that's what
patrol,
T
right?
Triple C. It used to be Co
Yeah,
T Triple C. Now they turned it
right,
into tiers. But yeah, exactly.
right. So I've done it in my training. And I'm sure they didn't expect the world out of me, right? I was an ET first time doing it, but it was not like super thought provoking.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, it took practice. You had practice. After practice, you got better, like anything else. But as a medical guy that's around it all the time, not saying he's doing TCCC, but he's around medical all the time, he should be able to pass. And if he
100%.
don't, it's the same thing in the PFA. And I've walked in and I've seen it. I've seen especially as a younger chief, before the chief started getting in shape, as a younger sailor, before the chief started getting in shape, you had a lot of fat chiefs passing the PF, passing the weigh-ins when they shouldn't have.
Hmm. Yeah.
And it was just the way it was, right? And that I'm not proud of that, but it is what it is, right? So there's a lot of things in history I'm not proud of. That's just one of the things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's got better. But I walked in and I saw it was a master chief walk in, and he was over, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like, say he was 22 or 23, whatever it was back then. He goes, that's 15, and that E5 no master chief, that's 22.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I respected that. I walked in, I was at the ass end of it. And I said, what happened, man? He said, well, he told us. And I said, no, you did the right thing.
Yeah.
You did the
Yeah.
right thing.
It's
You
black and white.
absolutely
It's black and white.
100%
Absolutely.
did
Yeah.
the right thing. Because when that happens, that makes everybody look bad. Because I got that E5 knew it. And don't think he
100%.
ain't gonna tell nobody else.
Mm-hmm. And that's
He-
I think that's the division and the lowering of the standards that I think we're seeing a lot more. I was listening to a couple podcasts we'll, touch on maybe at some point, or I think just I posted over on Twitter just the idea of this lowering of the standards. I think, and Khaleesi and I, Morpheus and I, we've all bitched about it at one point or another for one reason or another. And that's what I think to that TCCC issue comes back to is like, yeah, I'm not expecting, you to move heaven and hell for me or, or anybody else. I just think, yeah, we got to have at least the basics. And then if
right.
nobody's meeting the basics, that doesn't mean lower the standard so that more people can meet a new basic. No, the basic should be the basic, like black and white. It should be, whether it's the PRT, the BCA, or whether it's got to be, a mandatory training. Now, does that have to say that the bureaucracy, that's another thing. I mean, is the bureaucracy getting in the way now? We're adding all these quote unquote required trainings that are not really important for day to day
Oh,
and for a war fighting effort,
yeah, we can get to that all day. That's the training they gave. I tell you what, man, like and I'm not dogging out the future former President Joe Biden, but damn, it seemed like we did a lot of bullshit, anti-extremist bullshit that we had to take time out of our job to go do for no reason.
Yeah.
I did
I
not
felt that
feel
way.
I did not feel that I saw a lot of extremists in my day. And I
Hmm.
did 26 damn years. I think I would have seen a couple if they were out there. Yeah, you had people that might have been one way or the other a little bit, swing a little bit, but it wasn't like it was very few and far between.
Hmm. Yeah.
You
No.
know, and it
Yeah.
and it was mainly the junior people. The most ones I saw was when I was younger.
Hmm. Yeah.
But things seems like it's time, and I hated to hear that stuff like, oh, I'm a black female. I can't. You're a damn senior chief right now. What are you bitching about?
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting a fair shake, or you're getting a shake at least, And I just, I don't know. I just didn't see it. I didn't see it. I think it was a lot of to do for nothing.
Hmm. It's
And
yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No. It seems that way. I'm agreeing with you 100%.
Yeah.
I want to expel some of this rant energy for you because it's been a while since you've had another rant. So
Yeah.
this
It
better be
has.
this better be
No.
getting it all off your chest. But at the same
Yeah,
time,
I am.
it's like I think with this latest bit of politics making the rounds online, I've been seeing a very clear narrative that has been, growing. I mean, cancel me Karens out there, but
Oh, big time.
I just read JD Vance's book because, I was hearing, oh, it has this and it says that and he's this and he's that. I'm like, I had no idea who JD Vance was. Then I heard him on a podcast. I was
Right.
like, he sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Heard him on the debate. I was like, he's articulate. Who the hell is this guy? And a quick bio read on a Wikipedia search. Okay, you can learn some stuff, sure, maybe. But I like to get to know the person from what the person says, what their actions display. And, anybody writes a book, I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. I want to hear,
Right.
and
Right.
that's why I love these podcasts for that reason. And
Hmm.
and so going through his book, there was like, 14 different things where people were like, oh, it says this, it says that. I saw none of it. I thought it was
Right.
a fantastic testament and, memoir of his life. And as he starts it out, he's like, I don't think I'm anything special. And, I want to, give a voice to all these things and give my analysis for all these things. But that doesn't mean that, anybody's got to read it. Anybody got to take this as gospel or anything else. I may have mixed things up. I may fuck up this or that. And it just came off like very earnest, honest. And his story is actually really incredible of coming from a poverty stricken area, deciding to better himself. I was like, holy shit, completely different idea reading it myself than what I'm hearing the narrative of
Yeah.
slander go out there. I'm like,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know. I don't
100%.
know that I'm seeing this. So when it comes to things like whether it's what was his name? Pete Hegseth is the latest one that I've been going down this rabbit hole with, because immediately I'm getting tagged in things on Twitter from people that I respect their opinion for, but
Hmm.
I'm hearing like, okay, where are you hearing that? What are you basing that off of? Let me, blah, blah, blah. And the further I go down, the less and less info they seem to have. It seems like a regurgitation of a narrative. All right, let me go explore this Hegseth guy. I disagree
Hmm.
with X, Y, and Z of him, but by and large, the guy's making a lot of sense. Ex-combat
Yeah.
vet turned to, say what you will, Fox talking head,
Right.
talking about how he doesn't think women should be in combat roles. Okay, initially you take that, you run with it as a headline. Oh my God, he's a misogynist. I listen to what he says. He says you got to have a standard. You got to be able to do a task. You're talking about special forces, women in combat roles performing a specific duty. Can they or can they not? Don't lower the standard. Exactly what we're getting to
Right.
at here is don't lower the
Right.
standard just to
Right.
allow a certain quota, because all you're doing is eroding the entire the foundation of the warfighting, mission, ability rather. And I think that's what a big thing that I'm noticing, and what we point out with, again, we pick on the Chiefs mess because that's our, like you said, that's our
That's the
high,
that's the closest thing you got. That's the closest gator to the boat to Navy sailors, right?
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I also, both parents were chiefs. I
Right.
have an idea of a chief,
Yeah.
and to see it not in front of me day to day is, for the most part. Now, again, I've had those awesome chiefs that show me that no, it is possible. So that further displays how inadequate the Chiefs mess has become, at least in this, as the percentage of good Chiefs goes down, as Senior Chief Britt retires, more and more of you guys are leaving. And then, a lot of the lower enlisted, the same thing, are following you guys. I'm like, I mean,
Yeah, man.
this sounds like a Hermes rant. What's going
No,
on here?
no, no. I love to get into it. No, you're 100%. And the thing about it was the hardest thing for me when I retired, because I saw it coming, was giving up the keys to the house, right?
Mhm.
Because when you retire, you're giving the keys to somebody else. You
But
don't have any control.
you trusted your other chiefs, did you
I
not?
trusted some of them. Yeah, obviously, most of them I trusted. And I was in a command at the time with a lot of SWICs,
Hmm.
and but and they were good in what they did, right? In their role, they were fine. I mean, they were more than adequate, right? And I'm talking about the ones that I worked with a lot was, and I worked with everybody because in my job I had to deal with everybody. But I worked with a lot with the combat support guys, the fleet chiefs, right? The
Sure.
fleeter chiefs,
Yeah.
the guys that came from ships. And I knew one of them, a good friend of mine, he's a warrant officer now. He went warrant just so he wouldn't have to give the keys to the house up.
He wanted to stick it out,
He
a
didn't
few
he didn't
more.
he didn't he didn't trust them, man. He didn't trust a lot of it, and I see that because the chief there before him, she was awful. She was a
Yeah.
tyrant.
Yeah.
She was a freaking
We
tyrant,
were
man. I
working
mean,
for her, like you said.
man, I tell you what, it was. I remember the XO said, "Wow, senior, I didn't know you had it in," because had to get in somebody's ass. Because I hear so and so talking about that chief doing. I can hear her from my office. That ain't. If you can hear her from your office, sir, that ain't a good thing.
Mm, yeah.
If that happens all the time, there's a problem. Nobody has that many fucked up sailors all the time.
Yeah. That's not and that shouldn't be your only tool in your
No, hell
toolbox.
no. And when I was a young chief, man, I was stressed. I was a 3MC over a command that just failed. I mean, the CO, XO, and CMC have been relieved if I'd have failed. Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
But I still treat people with respect. I get in that ass, but I still treat people with respect when they were doing a good job. And I wrote up 10 NAMs after we passed. So I took care of the people,
Yeah.
the best I could.
Yeah.
And since we passed the 3M inspection, I mean, we blew it out. We were 90+%. Since we passed, the XO was happy. He kept his job. He told everybody at department head at the awards board, they do awards board before they give out awards.
Hmm.
And he said, I'm approving these, whether anybody says anything or not. So it was an easy sell, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, but I was an asshole. I told people, I was cussing people out out there in the Chiefs mess where we had a 3M meetings. And I saw the XO walk in and he just turned around and walked out. He goes, I can't be a part of this, but I think it's needed. That's kind of how it went
Hmm.
down.
Yeah.
No, I was a tyrant, but as I got older, I didn't need that. I wasn't a 3MC of 50 work centers, getting ready to fail an inspection. I didn't need to be that way.
100%.
So
Yeah.
I wasn't that way. But if I told somebody to do something and this is why, and they didn't do it, then they'd catch it. They'd catch the ass chewing. But now you got people just expect you to read their damn minds, but they don't follow up.
Hmm.
They expect you just to do it, or they
Hmm.
expect you to do it the way they want it done, but they're never telling you how they want it done. It was
There's,
just
I
weird.
mean,
I
Yeah. There's a
And
lot of
are they're
balls.
not, oh, they're not leaving their fucking office.
You don't, they leave me on red. The amount of times that's the thing. When I've heard you talk, I mean, we've talked about this a couple times, and even over on a E14, I've heard you say this, that, yeah, or maybe it was Jamie, is like, sailors just want, leadership and support and the tools to do their job. That's all. That's not that
Yeah.
hard to do. And if you're, before she even picked up chief, I remember her saying that, like, basically, my job, her job as a E6 is to make sure that my guys have what they need to do their job. That's like what I'm here to do, is facilitate, right?
Yeah,
How can
exactly.
how can you
Exactly.
leave your sailors on red then when they're it's not even saying hold my hand, I need help every other. No, it's like I have an issue. These are the things I've tried for my issue. Now it's at first classes, it's at chiefs, it's at senior chiefs, master chiefs desk. Basically I've exhausted my resources here. You are my next resource, and they ignore you or they leave you on red or whatever. What are you
Dude,
supposed to
I
do or
think
feel about that?
Hermes, I think it's a shame you have to put a read receipt on your fucking emails to a chief. That
And
means you've
follow up,
been,
like you said. Follow
that
up.
means that you've been basically blown off a lot of times for you have to resort to a read receipt.
I wish it. Yeah, I wish it wasn't the
Yeah.
case. But how else are you going to cover? For me, how else am I going to cover my own ass when
No, you got to cover your ass, dude. But you know what? I bet if they still blow you off, that means they're not getting held accountable.
it's well, that's 100% the case. And as I'm trying to hold someone accountable, and yet my leadership doesn't hold anybody accountable. It's like, how can I pretend to be like, hey, junior sailor so and so, if you do this, we're going to hold you accountable, because they all know. No, you're not. You're one person, and nobody gives it. I just got scolded. I have this in my notes because I wanted to bring it up for
Yeah,
you specifically in this rant.
definitely.
I just got scolded for this was what I got scolded for. I had a new award on my chest candy. First time I had worn it since, the last time I was up for board, which was this last quarter, or 2 quarters ago rather. And so I was up for Sailor of the Year. I have this new chest candy on. I'm wearing it. I'm looking good. I'm looking sharp. Obviously, Sailor of the Year, right? And following the board, the first class pulls me aside. Hey, where'd you get that? When'd you get that? I was like, it was in my package I sent to you. I forwarded it all up to you. I mean, like, I've sent like 4 or 5 emails to both the crew. So long story short, it was a equivalent of a muck. It was an outside branches gave us a muck. So we did
Right.
really good on the TAD. The Surgeon General ends up getting this nomination and signs it off for everybody on that TAD. So we obviously did a kick-ass job. I saw Surgeon General obviously is above all of my command
Right.
ranks.
Yeah.
So he signed it off. It has my name on it along with my team's name. I forwarded to my team, say, hey guys, congratulations. You got, this award. I CC my previous first class and my previous chief, or still current chief, saying, hey, just so they are tracking on this congratulations that I sent out.
Right.
And I put, I bought the ribbon, waited for it to come in, stuck it on my fucking rack, had to, buy a new rack, all that good shit, right? And I get pulled aside. Where'd you get that? When'd you get that? Yada, yada, yada. Well, it was CC, you were CC'd. So was the previous first class. Um, what isn't, what's the issue? Chief's asking questions, blah, 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 blah. Then, all right, cool. I gave him, I guess, a adequate answer. The next day, in future, for future reference, the CO wasn't tracking on this, chief wasn't tracking on this, and you got to tell us when this stuff happens, because we don't like to be blindsided by this, and we don't like to be caught in the dark like this. And I was like, what do you, how, here's the date, here's the email, here's the award. What are you talking about here? Oh, well, we don't like, this is a big deal, and we would have liked to have done something, and you didn't give us an opportunity to do that. Feels like you just went around and didn't care about it. I'm like, and I'm leaving that first class on red, because I don't know what to say to that. This was in the last 24 hours. I'm just like, dude,
But
I went on my board on Wednesday. Today is Friday for everybody listening. Got all that scolding yesterday, and I just left them on red.
here's the deal, man. That is some bullshit. Because how about, hey, fucking outstanding job, dude. You did something wrong. I mean, you did it.
Thanks
That's
for
how Corman.
representing. Yeah,
Yeah, that's how Corman's row, baby. How about something like that?
yeah,
But or
exactly.
been like, and if he didn't like know that it happened and the chief jumped on him and he went, hey, but next time just let your chain of command know, because he didn't know you. Maybe he didn't know you already emailed the chief.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah.
about that? Hey, what I did, HM1, I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did do that.
Hmm.
Well, what? I'll go talk to Chief. But he ain't gonna say shit,
He's
little
not gonna
bitch.
say shit. No, it's the whole thing. And if Chief did, how about? By the way, that Chief, my Chief, who leaves me on red, was on my board. First time I'd seen that asshole in like a year plus 2 years, probably the entire time I've been here. Oh, how you doing? How was the drive? Yada yada. I was like, I don't just because you smile at me today doesn't mean we're good, dude. Like you don't
Right.
you never my chief. What are you talking about? And
Yeah.
then don't even if you had a question about my rack, how about you ask me? I'm on the board. You're sitting 6 feet from me. How about you ask me there? Instead, you go around and ask this first class and that first class and this chief and whatever. When you were CC'd on that email, by the way, it's like,
Yeah.
where is this even? I don't like.
Dude, at the
It
very
does. It
least.
feels fake. It doesn't even feel like it's real.
Well, after it sounds like just like you're in like you're like surrounded by freaking E7s. But what about the chief? Here's my I can see at the very least open your fucking email
Sure.
that you sent him about it. He reads it. At the very least, send an email CCing everybody that was in that TAD that got that award and saying, dude, great job, fellas.
Sure.
This is how corpsmen roll. This is how we do shit. Thanks for representing. Good job. Bravo
Exactly.
Zulu. That's all he had to do. You know what that meant to these guys?
Exactly. Exactly.
Dude, they have so much fucking power, man. They don't even know how much power they got, like to affect somebody's fucking life, affect somebody's day. Like I remember, somebody told me when I was going through the season, they said, select, Chief Select, with great power comes great responsibility.
Hmm.
And 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 that stuck with me, man. That stuck with me big time. That stuck with me the rest of my career. And what I was taught during the season was you've already fucking made it, dude. It ain't about you.
Yeah. Now it's time to be responsible for everybody else, right?
Yeah, if you make it past chief, you're gonna make it because of what they do, not about what you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that stuck with me, bro. I ain't gonna say I was perfect. I was not. I was far from it. I was flawed. I never did the big. I never messed around with junior sailors, of course, and I never got a DUI. I didn't do the big three, but man, I made mistakes, but I owned up to them.
100%. Yeah.
It's okay. Sorry to be vulnerable here and there. Nobody's perfect. It just kills me that these guys got to be above. It's like they're not even like they don't want to even like want to relate to y'all.
Yeah.
Corey
And
Troach.
Well, that's my phone.
oh shit.
But my phone's not in my. It's not in my
That's
room.
cool.
There. There. Take that off.
Don't
It's
you get-
connected to my to my Bluetooth.
Don't you get on Morpheus about going to airplane mode? Just saying.
No, my phone is in the living room connected
fucking with you.
Bluetooth here. I was like, oh shit. So it's because we're supposed to be recording. He's like, where the hell is this link?
Oh shit! Do you want to take a break and hit him up real quick?
I'm just gonna do it right now while we're talking. I'm just
Oh,
gonna
okay.
send out the link right now because I
Okay,
have it.
cool.
My B. And then when he jumps in, I'll be like, oh yeah, this is what we were doing. My B.
Oh, my
But yeah, I
bad.
mean, it's one of those it's one of those things that to your point, yeah, it's like, are you even trying? Like whether it's relating or not, are you even trying, man? Like, and it does suck when it feels like you're not, sure.
Right.
But it is. It's because I have something to compare it to. It really sucks, even more so to your point of like you're here to help others. It sucks even more when that's
you're
the
there to-
only experience that these new kids have to Chiefs. They only know E7s. They don't know
Look.
good Chiefs mess, you know?
I was hard, but the only reason I was hard is I was trying to make people better. So when they do, because you just know who's going to be that next guy that's going to put on anchors. You just know. They're as long as they stay in and don't get burnt out and say fuck it. They're
Yeah.
probably going to make chief, right? You just know, especially at that. Hell, I can tell at the second class level, but especially at the first class level, you just know.
Mhm.
And even if they weren't my LPO, I was still grooming them. I was still, trying to do my best. And a lot of times, I think I helped make quite a few chiefs in my day, right? And but I think sometimes they thought I was a little bit hard on them, and maybe they don't. They got a little hate, maybe a little shade at me. But you know what? It is what it is. And like we're wearing anchors now. You know what I mean?
I'd say it's one thing to deserve it though, right? Versus
Right.
being tough on someone who gets a little butthurt because that's the first time they've ever had
Right.
daddy
And
in their life, you know?
And it wasn't like I was like yelling them. I was just making them do more than what they would probably do, trying to make them better.
Exactly.
Bend but not break kind of thing.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
iron
and-
sharpens iron kind of a thing, right? And that's
Dude.
what we need.
Dude, I had a chief one time when I was at E5 and I was at LPO. They were like, "You're going to write some evals, and they better be good before you leave tonight." So he'd already left, which I probably would have stayed, but he left. Whatever. So I emailed him his personal email. The eval goes, "That's good. You can leave now." But it made me better. So
Yeah.
I don't hate him for it. At the time, it was a little stressful, a little painful because I wanted to get home, but it made me better. And I never had an issue writing evals as a chief. Never. I could always write a good eval. Never had an issue. But you'd see it. There's some chiefs that can't write a fucking eval to save their life, man. I mean, I was in charge of 8 or 9 of these fuckers, man. I was like, holy fuck.
And if that's anything that I've gotten practice, I know I've heard you bitch about like, why are you doing that? Why are you writing your package? If there's anything I've gotten practice doing, being thrown to the wolves without support, is how to, I figured it out. I know how to write evals. I know how to write awards. I know how to, work the system, how to process this too, how to get the ball rolling when it's not kind of a thing. I know how to, I just know how these things work through having to figure it out,
It's making you better, but damn, man. I mean, but at whose expense though? It's at your expense. At the end of the day, chiefs out there, if any of you fuckers hear this, man, you don't have your freaking say there right there of the year package or of the quarter package. If you need input from them, fucking ask them for input, maybe a little brag sheet. But you don't have them put a package together. That's your fucking job, dude, or dudettes. Just so you fucking know that I've never had to write my own Sailor of the Year package. And kudos on you, man. I never got selected for Junior Sailor of the Year as an E5. I didn't make Sailor of the Year. I was a seasoned D6. Kudos to you. So and it's good to get Sailor of the Year. Don't get me wrong, but it don't make or break you.
No,
you know what I mean?
For sure not. No, this last time, that's what. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
but
it don't make or break you.
That's the thing though. More than anything else, having leadership like that and talking to you about leadership like this, it ensures that I'm not that leader. I don't. Right. I write my guys. I ask them for a brag sheet. I tell them this is how it should be, and if I need further input or whatever, then I'll ask you for it, or I'll ask for clarification or an extra document or whatever. But I'm putting this together because I recognize you're doing a good job. That's the idea behind an award or a board recognition or anything like that. That's how I feel about it. And so, there's an intern too.
And honestly, bro, I got text by the same guy a minute ago. Are you with Hermes right now?
About damn time. Y'all just having a little fucking jerk over here without the rest of the group.
We were doing a retirement rant. I'll go ahead and end the recording for the retirement rant here, and we can roll into the main show. That was my bad. I saw 9 minutes on the clock. I was like, oh, God damn it. My bad.
I didn't even finish what I was getting into, bro.
We'll roll right into it then. That's the main show.